What is going on, my dudes and dudettes? Showing you with SNS Serpentarium. Today we're just going to have a little chat about how to get a female back on food after she's had eggs. What I've done, how I managed to do it. A few tips and tricks on how it can be done. Before we get into any of that though, guys, if you are new around here, make sure you do subscribe. Smash the old like button for the old YouTube algorithm, and comment down below if you've got any other questions. So, this female, as you know, she's just had eggs. Her eggs are in the incubator cooking right now. She was bred with a clown boy. And even though she's only had 2 meals since she's laid, she's actually looking in pretty good shape already. All she's had is 2 multis, believe it or not. She was quite chunky before she laid. She weighed in at about 2,600 grams, so 2,600 grams. So she's looking, really, really good. I'll just bring it up next to my face here. Yeah, you can see, pretty good body condition. So I'm not really too worried about her, even if, she wasn't feeding, but she is already, which is great. Believe it or not, guys, I actually got this girl to eat on the day that I found the eggs. I got her to take a small meal for her, which is, an XL multi. I think it was like an 80-gram multi, something like that, which, for her is nothing, because she's probably still weighing in at 18 or 1900 grams, probably. I wouldn't be surprised. Somewhere around there for sure. So yeah, this is the way to get them feeding after they lay. So obviously they lay the eggs. The first thing you want to do is take the eggs out. Try to make sure they don't roll or anything like that. Obviously with python eggs, the embryo sticks to the side of the egg and it'll drown. In case you didn't already know, you probably did, but just in case. So you want to incubate them. Obviously there's plenty of videos on how to incubate. I'm not going to cover that today, but just get rid of the eggs, right? Because if you want them to eat straight away, you don't want to be maternally incubating the eggs, because they won't eat if the eggs are still there. After you get rid of the eggs, all you want to need to do then is get rid of any scent of the eggs in the tank. Alright, you could either move her to a different tub or tank, whatever, and maybe give her, like, if you're moving her to a different tank, maybe rather than moving her to the different tank, move the different tank to her, if that makes sense. Make it a brand new tank though that doesn't smell of any snakes, or one that hasn't had snakes for a while and it's been deep cleaned and stuff like that. Or what I did with her is I literally took all of the substrate out, the bowls, the hide, sprayed it all down with good bit of F10. Obviously binned the substrate, put a new substrate bed in, and she ate straight away then. You definitely should do the water bowl as well, because sometimes they will wrap the water bowl thinking that it is the actual offspring, or the hide, depending on what hide you use. So you need to keep that in mind. I quite often find when a snake lays eggs, I seem to have it down to a T so far, at least anyway. They seem to just get straight back on the food with no issues. This girl was eating rats before, and I did offer her a rat, but she wouldn't have it. So I think with her now, the steps I'm going to take is I'm just not going to feed her any more multis for the moment, and just see if I can get her back on the rats, because rats really are better for a big girl like this. I can only get multis that are so big, so I would rather have her on something like a smaller or medium rat. I think it's just going to be better for her long term. Another thing you could do as well is obviously just leave the prey item in there. I'm talking about frozen thawed. So if you leave the frozen thawed prey item in there, the scent will build up, and it could trigger a bit of a feeding response. It might not eat it there and then when you leave it in, but then when you come back and shake it around, heat it up, shake it around, it might strike. Obviously, if you're going to leave it in there, make sure it is completely thawed out first. I'm not talking about leaving live in there, because that's obviously dangerous if you just leave it in there and walk away. So yeah, those are the sort of tips I would recommend. Maybe offer a different prey item. Obviously, this girl, she wouldn't take a rat, she took a multi. You could also try chicks, mice, quail. There's all sorts of different things, guys, out there to try if your female doesn't get established straight away. It's also worth having a little feel to see if she is egg bound, because that could be a possibility in reality. If she is egg bound, then well, perhaps I'll make a separate video on how to deal with that, actually, because that is quite a chunk of a topic to deal with. But there are ways of dealing with an egg bound snake if you can't get to a vet. Obviously, a vet is better, but you know, with the coronavirus and stuff on now, there's a good chance that all vets will be closed for the foreseeable. The UK is on shutdown. I don't know about everywhere else, because I don't live there, obviously, but the UK is on shutdown, so for me at least, there is a good chance I won't be able to go to a vet if I needed to go. Some of you may or may not know, I actually do have a very sick Daegu at the minute. He's been sick since December of last year. He's been on and off antibiotics, back and forth the vets all the time. So I am quite worried about him, because if I can't get access to his meds, then he'll probably, you know, sadly die. Just to be clear, Daegu it's like a little rodent. It's spelled D-E-G-U. It's a little rodent. It's quite similar to a rat. They're very cute little animals. But anyway, sorry for that little tangent. I'm a big fan of tangents. So yeah, if you've got any other questions, guys, with regards to getting your female back on the old food, just let me know. I think I've pretty much covered everything in this video. It's pretty straightforward normally. Sometimes it just takes a bit of time. Just be patient. Don't offer, if she's not accepting food, don't offer her any more than every other week, because that'll stress her out more. Don't handle her. Make sure the tank's nice and clean. I think that about covers it, really. So thank you for joining me here today. I really appreciate it. Again, guys, if you could subscribe if you're new around here, smash the notification bell as well. Destroy the like button for the YouTube algorithm to help the channel grow. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks, guys. Bye.